Never mind, it's been confirmed by the Department of Justice. Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, and his dad are sitting in jail because they robbed Gucci Mane.
Yo, this situation right here, it just went from internet rumor to full-blown federal case overnight. And now you've got names like Pooh Shiesty, Gucci Mane, and even 50 Cent being dragged into one of the wildest conversations in hip-hop right now, because people aren't just asking what happened anymore. They're asking who said what and who gave information. And 50 Cent, yeah, he already stepped in, and you know when he speaks, it's never quiet. Let's break this all the way down. So here's what federal authorities are alleging. Back in January, a business meeting was supposed to go down at a studio in Dallas, Texas. Normal industry stuff, right? Contracts, negotiations, paperwork. But according to reports, things took a serious turn. Authorities claim that Pooh Shiesty, real name Lantrell Williams Jr., allegedly set up the meeting, and once the victims got inside, it turned into what officials describe as a coordinated robbery involving multiple individuals. We're talking high-value jewelry, watches, cash, and even claims of physical intimidation. Now here's where it gets even deeper. This wasn't just random. Authorities are saying multiple people traveled across states, which is exactly why this turned into a federal-level situation. And once it hits that level, yeah, it's a completely different ballgame. Now, the moment this information hit the internet, it exploded. Because this isn't just about a case, this is about reputation, street image, and industry politics. And almost immediately, one question took over social media. How did authorities get all this detail? And that's when people started throwing names around, including Gucci Mane. Now let's be very clear, there is no official confirmation that Gucci Mane did anything wrong or provided any statements in this situation. But online, people started speculating. Why? Because of the connection, label ties, industry relationships, and past business dealings. And once speculation starts in hip-hop, it spreads fast.
Every single day, you eat, sleep with boys. You finally come back to shotties, and the first thing you do is put yourself at risk to be with boys again. I won't never understand that. You're a multi-millionaire, bro. You don't like to be with boys again? Really?
Thank you for coming. This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lantrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty, Lantrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30, Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet, but will be soon.
Now this is where it really got interesting, because 50 Cent saw everything going on and did what he always does best. He added fuel to the conversation. He posted about the situation, dropped a clip, and basically joked about the idea of who told what. Now if you know 50, he doesn't directly accuse, he implies, he teases, and he lets the internet run with it. And that's exactly what happened. Here's the bigger picture people aren't talking about enough. This situation shows the clash between two worlds. 1, the music business. 2, street credibility. Because in today's industry, artists are no longer just rappers. They're brands, CEOs, investors. Take Gucci Mane, for example. He's evolved into a businessman, built a label, developed artists. So when situations like this happen, people start asking, do the old rules still apply, or is this just business now? And then there's Pooh Shiesty himself. Let's be honest. His career trajectory, it was going up. Major cosigns, strong fan base, big industry momentum, which is why this situation hits even harder, because people are looking at it like, how do you go from rising star to facing something like this? At the end of the day though, none of this plays out on Instagram. This plays out in court, and legally speaking, everyone involved is innocent until proven otherwise. But if federal authorities are involved, that usually means they believe they have evidence, timeline, and coordination details. So now, it's a waiting game. But what really took this story to another level was how the media, blogs, and the public reacted. And honestly, that might be just as important as the case itself. When news of this situation first surfaced, it didn't just spread, it detonated across platforms. Hip-hop media pages, reaction channels, Twitter threads, TikTok breakdowns, everybody had something to say. But what's interesting isn't just the speed of the reaction, it's the pattern of how people responded. First, you had the immediate shock phase. A lot of fans couldn't believe that a situation involving a high-profile artist like Pooh Shiesty could escalate into something this serious. The narrative quickly shifted from "this might be exaggerated" to "this looks real," especially once official details and names started circulating. That transition alone shows how much credibility people now place on early reports, even before full confirmation. Then came the speculation phase, which is where things really got complicated. Instead of focusing strictly on the legal facts, the conversation turned toward who might be cooperating, who might be involved behind the scenes, and how authorities gathered so much information. This is where names like Gucci Mane started getting pulled into the discussion, not based on confirmed reports but on association and public curiosity. This kind of reaction isn't new in hip-hop culture. There's always been a strong emphasis on loyalty, silence, and reputation. But what's different now is how social media accelerates assumptions. In previous eras, these conversations would stay in small circles. Now they become global debates within hours. Another key layer here is the role of content creators and commentary platforms. Channels similar to Urban Politician TV have built massive audiences by breaking down situations like this in real time, often blending facts with opinion and interpretation. And while that keeps audiences engaged, it also creates a blurred line between verified information and speculation. From a media standpoint, this situation highlights how narratives are built before outcomes are decided. The court hasn't ruled anything yet, but online people are already forming strong opinions. Some are defending Pooh Shiesty, others are criticizing the alleged decisions, and many are focused entirely on the who said what angle. There's also the influence of personalities like 50 Cent. His reaction didn't introduce new facts, but it amplified the conversation. That's a powerful reminder that in today's media landscape, influence isn't just about information, it's about attention. When someone like him posts, it validates the topic as something worth discussing, and that alone can shift the entire narrative. From my perspective, what we're really seeing here is a collision between entertainment culture and real-world consequences. Hip-hop has always told stories about struggle, risk, and survival, but when those themes overlap with actual legal situations, the tone changes. What might sound like lyrics in a song becomes something much more serious when it appears in official reports. Another important factor is the idea of evolution within the industry. Artists today are expected to grow beyond their pasts, build businesses, and operate at a higher level, but the audience doesn't always adjust those expectations. Some fans still hold on to older definitions of authenticity, which creates tension when situations like this arise. And finally, there's the long-term impact. Regardless of how this case ends, the conversation itself will leave a mark. Public perception, brand relationships, and career trajectories can all be affected, sometimes more by the discussion than the actual outcome. At the end of the day, this situation isn't just about one incident. It's about how information spreads, how narratives form, and how quickly public opinion can shift in the digital age. If you made it this far, you already know this is one of those stories that's still unfolding. So make sure you stay locked in with TAS Spectrum West TV, because we're going to keep you updated every step of the way. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. And remember, stay sharp, stay informed, and I'll catch you in the next one.